Hello everyone, this is Misha Houston, and I'm back to do my review and recap for If Loving You Is Wrong. The episode is entitled A Neighborhood in Crisis, and there were certainly neighborhoods in crisis in this episode. It was a very, very good episode. I enjoyed it. Tyler Perry did a very good job. He made a very good comeback for a show that last season didn't do so well. There were complaints about last season's that it was too slow. The pacing was very slow. But this had a much faster pace to it. And I appreciate him for listening to his fans and correcting the mistakes that he made in the previous season. Now, we start right where we left off. Virginia is in the boat and she has the baby by the ankle. She's threatening to throw the baby into the river, and all of the FBI agents have their guns pointed directly at her. She's screaming, she's telling them, "How could you, look what you did to my husband. This is my husband and my husband has been shot. All for this bastard in my hands. All for this bastard. You did this." She gets so angry that she drops the baby into the water. An FBI agent who has Lucian in his ear is saying that I have a clear shot on her. I can shoot her right now. And Lucian gives his okay. He says, "Go ahead and shoot her." They shoot her. They shoot her between the eyes, and she falls dead into the lake. Lucian is screaming to the officers, "Go into the river, go into the lake and get the baby." Brad is the first one into the water. He swims out there, and a few FBI agents swim out into the lake as well to try to save the baby. Brad comes back with the baby in his arms and gives the baby to Lucian. He asks Steve to give me his coat, and Steven does give his coat, and Lucian wraps the baby in his coat. He proceeds to give the baby CPR. He works on the baby while Randall and Alex and Brad and all of the other officers look on. Alex and Randall are very worried. They're saying, "Come on, baby, come on, come back to us." Eventually, the baby cries and he starts to breathe again. They wrap the baby up and then they hand the baby directly to Alex, which I don't think was right, because she was the one who put that baby in danger in the first place. By calling her mother and father in on this, she put that baby in danger. So I personally don't think that she should ever, hold that baby, because she was the one who put him in danger. The ambulance comes, and the medic comes out and saying, "I need to take the baby to the hospital." Alex is reluctant to give the baby to the medic, but she says that it's okay. It's all right. Just hand me the baby. Alex eventually does hand the baby over. But it's a fight. A fight breaks out. An argument breaks out. The medic tells them that only one parent is allowed to ride with them. Randall speaks up and says, I'm the baby's father. I'm going to go in to the ambulance and ride with my son." Alex does not want that. She's still, even now, trying to keep the baby away from Randall. But Randall sticks to his guns and says, "I'm not going to be separated from my son anymore. I'm going to ride in the ambulance with you." Lucian tries to hold him back, but Randall is not gonna put up with it anymore. He's not gonna put up with the treatment. He's not gonna put up with the separation anymore. He's telling him, I don't care what you want. I'm going with my son. Eventually, the medic tells him that it's okay. You both can ride in the ambulance if you want to. So that is settled. Now, Eddie goes over to Brad and tells him and asks him, why did you do that? We could have gotten rid of that thing altogether. And Brad tells Eddie, you're really sick, man. You're really sick. Brad gets in Marcy's truck and he drives off. The next scene is for Eddie and Lucian and Steve. Lucian tells the FBI that this is now an FBI matter. This is your department. This is your cleanup. I'm going to stay out of it. Trying to play off that he's not an FBI agent himself. But Eddie is on to him now. He accuses him of being an undercover FBI agent. He gives proof to his theory by saying that Pete had a undercover detail on him, and now Louise Holmes also had an FBI detail. Now in this situation, you're here and so is the FBI. On 3 separate occasions, you've been in a situation, and now the FBI has showed up only a few moments later. Eddie truly believes without a doubt that Lucian is a part of the FBI, which we all know is true, but for the sake of his cover, he has to pretend that he's not an FBI agent. Lucian asks Eddie, what are you doing here? And then Eddie tells him that I was assigned to back up Andrew. And then Lucian asked him, well, where is Andrew? Where is Andrew? Where is he? What's going on here? And then Eddie said, when I got to the scene, Andrew was already gone. A pack of his lies that he usually tells to try to throw people off of the track. He goes back into Lucian and he tells him that I know that you're an FBI agent and I'm going to find out sooner or later. He say, well, if I was an FBI agent, the first thing I would be wondering is where are all of these undercover officers? Where are all of the missing officers? There are 2 missing officers here. Where are they? If I was an FBI agent, I'd be asking those questions. So they both Lucian and Eddie both have something to hide from each other. But I have a feeling that the truth is going to come out sooner or later. I think for sure that the truth is going to come out. And if Eddie finds out that Lucian is an undercover agent, then I think that he's going to try to kill Lucian at some point. At some point, he's going to try to kill Lucian for sure. But I hope that that doesn't happen. Because plainly put, I'm just sick of Eddie. He gets away with far too much. He's apparently gotten away with, for now, he's gotten away with trying to hang Randall. He's gotten away with shooting the officer, shooting Julius. He's just getting away with far too much. And I think it's time, for him to get his just desserts. Now, Lucian wants Steve to get Eddie right now. But Steve is putting up his normal excuse. We can't just settle for Eddie in this. We got to take down the cartel. We have to do this. We just can't shuck it and throw it all away just for the sake of Eddie. Lucian is very angry with this, but I guess he's just gonna have to put up with it for now until he can find a way to take down the cartel, and then the spotlight will be shined directly upon Eddie. Now, Steve is a character that I'm not quite sure of. There's something about Steve that just doesn't sit right with me. I could be wrong. I'm not sure of anything, but it just seems to me that I think he's trying to play both sides of the fence. I think he's trying to attach himself to whoever wins this war between Eddie and Lucian. I just don't think that he's on anyone's side. I don't trust him. I don't trust Steven at all. It's just something about him that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't get him. I don't get him. I've never really understood his character. I just don't know what to make of him. And when you have a person that you don't know what to make of, in my opinion, they are the most dangerous. They are the most dangerous, and you shouldn't trust a person that you can't get a good read upon. But that's just me. That's just me. Now we go to Esperanza, a very short scene with Esperanza in the call center. The station is completely empty because everyone is out trying to fix that situation down by the lake. She asked one of the other callers, the call attendants, "Have you heard anything about the officers in Dentonville?" And the call center operator says, "No, I haven't heard or seen anything. It's like a ghost town in here." Essie gets a call from Kelly, who is very worried about Ramsey, her neighbor. She knows that Travis is on the loose and that he's made threats, veiled threats to Ramsey's life. Travis told Kelly that you're never gonna see Ramsey again. And when Officer Rick came by, he wouldn't tell her what was going on. Kelly would ask, "Is there something going on, Officer Rick? Is there something going on?" But Rick ordered Kelly back into her house, so she doesn't know what's going on. And she's called Esperanza, for some type of information on Ramsey and on Rick. Essie is going to come home soon because she needs to make sure that the kids are ready for school. And then when she gets there, she's going to ask Officer Rick what's going on here. The next scene we have is of Randall and Alex in the ambulance with the ambulance driver and the medic. The medic asks a series of questions. How old is the baby? Randall says that he's 6 days old, but then, what's her name? Alex says that no, he's 7 days old. And then the medic asks, "How did this happen? What happened here?" And then Randall answered that some crazy ass bitch tried to drown my son. And then the medic says, well, maybe I hope that the person that did this is getting what they deserved. And then Randall says, "Yes, the crazy bitch," forgive my language, I'm just repeating what I'm saying, what was said on the television. She said that the crazy bitch and her trifling ass husband is now dead, and that he hopes that they are both burning in hell. Now, when you can tell that Alex is really hurt now. She's really hurt. Her parents are dead. Her mother is dead, was shot down. So she's in mourning because of that. And you can really see that the anger is starting to boil up inside of her. The medic asks, what relation do you have to the child? Randall says that I'm the child's father, and and uh, and Alex says I'm his mother. He's my son. And then Randall asks Alex, don't you have anything to say to me? Do you have anything to say for yourself? Anything to say to me? And Alex says, I don't have anything to say to you, not one word. Randall says that he wants the baby to be taken to Maxine. And then the medic says it's going to take it's going to be a 3-hour drive at least. Well, at the most it's going to be 3 hours. Maybe we can cut down the time by a couple of hours with the siren to get there a little bit faster. And then the medic is asking, do you have somewhere to be in Maxine? And then Randall says, yes, I have to go to court. I have to go to court. I have a court date, and it's very important. I can't miss this one. Now, Alex can't believe that he still wants to go to court. But Randall sticks to his guns and says, yes, we are still going to court, and we are going to settle this custody issue. And then Randall mentions, he rather ask that, did you see my mother? Do you know what happened to my mother? And Alex is trying to ignore him, trying to hide the guilty look in her eyes. And then she tells them, if my mother is hurt, you're gonna know what hell is. If my mother has been hurt in this, you're gonna pay the price. You better hope that my mother is doing well. You better hope and pray that she's okay, because if she's not, the pain you suffered will be kindergarten from the pain you will suffer if my mother is hurt. And then Alex tells him, the last time I saw her, she was unconscious. Now, you can really tell that Alex is trying to lie her way out of this. She's lying in front of everyone, but Randall isn't fooled by this at all. He knows that she was very much a part of this, that she set this whole thing into motion. And he's not fooled by it at all, by her lies at all. She said, well, maybe Randall asked Alex, did you even sit with her? Did you even try to help her? Did you just left her there bleeding and unconscious? And she doesn't answer, but you can see the guilty look in her eyes. Well, Randall says, well, it's okay. You left my mother there to bleed. You left my mother there to be hurt. Well, fine. It's perfectly okay, because I left your mother bleeding in the lake with a bullet between her eyes. You can just feel, you can just see him gloating and throwing this mistake and this horrible plan back in her face. This plan achieved nothing. It achieved nothing. It's only made her look more like an unfit parent, and it's made him look more the victim. And if I were the judge in the case, if it was my decision, I have to admit this, I would give the baby to Randall. She has put that baby in pure jeopardy. She has gotten innocent people hurt, and she's gotten guilty people hurt, all because she doesn't want to acknowledge Randall as the father of her third child. So to me, it just feels so sad because she just took a situation and made it 10 times worse. She just couldn't acknowledge Randall as the father of that baby. And it's sad to see. I mean, this whole situation could have been avoided if she had just acknowledged the fact that she did have an affair with him, that it was consensual, that she wanted to be with him, that she loved him at one point, and that they had a baby together. But Alex played the victim, as she's done in the past, and so many people have gotten hurt. Her own child has died, had almost died. Louise almost died. Randall almost died, and now she is knee deep. She's knee deep in trouble now. She's going to have to answer for this because I don't think that Randall is going to be quiet about this. I know that he is going to tell the truth about what happened down by the lake. I believe that she's going to lose the baby, and she may even lose her other children as well, Peter and Paisley. We're going to have to see what happens there. The next group of characters we come to is Natalie and Joey. Joey wakes up telling her that she should go home, and she asks him if he is okay, and he tells her, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay at all. I'm in pain. I'm hurt. I'm heartbroken. I'm just not doing well." He knows that he shot Quan, and Natalie tells him that Quan is dead. Now Joey tells her that he never wanted Quan to die. He just wanted Quan to leave him alone, just to back down, just to leave us in peace, leave me in peace. He didn't want to. He wanted to work a normal job, but Quan wanted him to be a drug dealer. And when Joey refused him, I guess he took it as a slight against him, when that wasn't the case at all. Joey just wanted to work a normal job and to make honest money. That's all that Joey wanted. He cries, he's in physical pain, his heart broken, his face is swollen from all of the medication that he was given. And it was hard for him to breathe out of his nose. His nose was very swollen. His face, his lips, his entire face, he looks like a totally different person because of the drugs. So you know that physically, Joey is in a bad way. He asked about Fawn. Was Fawn shot? Was Fawn hurt? And Natalie doesn't know, and she really doesn't want to know about it, because I think if Fawn is dead, she would have to tell Joey that Fawn was killed if she was killed. If she was killed, and it would ruin his recovery. She's mainly concerned about his recovery. She wants him to get better, and she doesn't want him to be stressed out any more than he already is now. But Joey presses her. He's telling her, "I need to know if she's okay. I'm begging you. I need to know her condition." So Natalie says, "I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go and ask the doctors to see how she's doing." He begs, out of fear, he begs Natalie not to leave his side. But she says, "It's going to be okay. I'm going to be right outside the door. I'm going to check on her condition. So just lay here and rest and relax. It's going to be okay." Now Nat is outside of the door trying to check on Fawn. Tilda, crazy Tilda, pops up. Oh, this woman, she's so crazy. She pops up and she tells Nat that she is here to identify the body that was brought into the morgue. Tilda threatens Joey, saying that if my son is dead, your son will die too. And Natalie, knowing Natalie, she's not going to put up with that at all. She's not going to put up with that. She's telling Tilda, don't threaten my son, or it will be war. And Tilda is down for the war. She's got two of her hoods behind her to back her up if they should come to blows. And then they trade insults with each other. And then Natalie says, why are you dressed like a 20-year-old woman? You are over 40 years old. You need to dress appropriately. And then she comes back and says, well, at least I'm not dressed like something out of a flea market, something out of a dollar store. Tilda throws it in Natalie's face that she's inherited millions of dollars. Well, and then Natalie tells her, how did you get this money? And then she figures it out that, you're nothing but a prostitute. You earned that money on your back, having sex with men and on her knees. And then she says, Tilda tells her, well, it's better than working on my feet all day at a tired old burger joint. But Natalie comes back and tells her that at least it's an honest living. It's a job that I can perform with my head held high and not buried in the lap of a rich man. She says that she has millions of dollars, and she just throws the money up in her face, letting her know that she's still broke and Natalie's still broke and she'll never have anything other than a cheap job. And then Natalie tells Tilda, you know what, your mother would be ashamed of you. And then you hear a little bit of backstory on Tilda's mother. Apparently she was a good woman who raised Quan to be a good man. But apparently Tilda was a bad mother. And she put her son into ruined his life and led him to an early grave by raising him to be a gangster and raising him to be a drug dealer. They get into a bit of a scuffle and Lucian walks up. Lucian pulls them apart and Tilda goes on her way. Natalie tells Lucian that Joey has woken up, and Lucian goes in to see Joey. Joey tells Lucian that this was a robbery, that they were after Fawn. This is the reason why they shot at them, because they were after her money. Joey tells Lucian that every day she goes to get money from the different restaurants, and then she takes the money to the bank. Joey admitted to Lucian that he did pull the trigger on Quan killing him. That he is hurt and remorseful for what he had done. And that he had murdered his best friend. He feels like a murderer, and he feels like because he killed someone, he's going to go back to prison. But Lucian tells him, don't worry about that right now. Don't worry about that. And I personally don't think that Joey will be sent back to prison. Especially with the FBI on your side. So I'm not too worried about Joey going to prison. I'm more worried about Tilda and what she is going to do. I don't think that he'll be sent back to prison. I think Lucian will pull some strings, some FBI strings, to to save Joey from having to go back to prison for the rest of his life. He asks Lucian about Fawn, and then Lucian tells him that Natalie is out there checking on him. Randall and Alex have arrived at the hospital in Maxine. They're sitting there waiting for news on the baby. The doctor comes out and tells them that the baby has some water in his lungs, but he's going to be okay. Randall wants to see the baby, but Alex once again tries to block him from being with his son. And then the doctor says, well, the baby needs rest. The baby needs rest, so we're going to keep him for a while. So it wouldn't really be good for either one of you to see the baby right now. Randall says thank you, and then he sits back down in the waiting room with Alex. Now, Alex expects for him to just leave. But Randall is not leaving. She constantly expects him to just disappear. And she needs to realize that that's not going to happen now. That's not going to happen. You had a chance to make him disappear and you failed. Randall's still alive and he's not giving up on his son. And then she tells him that my parents are dead. Don't do this. My parents are dead. Well, Randall says, the blood is on your hands. It's all your fault. I mean, this is no one's fault but your own. And then she calls him a son of a bitch. And then he says, well, you shouldn't have called them in here. You are the one that got your parents hurt. You and them. You got your parents hurt. The blood of this is all over your hands. And you can't wash it off. This is on you. He asks her, you set this up? And she admits that she did. Well, now that she's admitted to her part in this, he has evidence now against her. He pretty much tells her, we're going to go to court over this. You're going to go to prison, and it's no way that you're going to be a good mother from prison. She stands up angry as a bull. And she stands up and says, I am never going to give you my son. And then he tells her, well, I know you wouldn't. The court is going to give me our son once you're in prison. So Alex, I mean, she's just digging herself in deeper. She's fighting this tooth and nail, and she's just digging herself in deeper. Randall is not going to leave. He's not going to give up on his child. Now, throughout the series, I've been trying to be on Alex's side. I really have. But after what happened down by the lake, knowing that the baby was almost drowned in the lake and mistreated, and knowing that Miss Louise had been hurt as well, I'm to the point where, and I know I'm in the minority, but I can't be on Alex's side anymore. I'm to the point where I'm just saying, Randall, go get your son. You suffered enough for your sins. You suffered enough. Just go and get your baby. He's your child. The baby was born of consensual sex. She loved him as she was sleeping with him. She wanted to be with him, and she had sex with the man with no condom. The baby is his. So Alex, just let go. Admit that you've lost. Just let go of the baby before she loses her other kids. Because if Brad wanted to, he could sue for custody as well. If Brad finds out that she set the situation up, then she could be found as an unfit parent to Peter and to Paisley. So I think it would be best that she stops now. Stop fighting Randall. Stop trying to pass this baby off as Brad's, because it's not Brad's baby. It's not Brad's baby. Everybody can see that baby belongs to Randall. And she needs to own it. She needs to woman up and just work with the man instead of trying to fight him at every turn. She just continues to fight him, and it just falls apart in the end. It just falls apart. She just needs to stop this now. It's gone too far. Too many people have been hurt. Too many people have been killed. It needs to end today. Now, we go back to the subdivision. There are police officers and yellow tape surrounding Ramsey's house. Ramsey's house is now a crime scene. So we know that something terrible has happened. Now, Esperanza drives up and she tries to talk to Rick, try to get Rick to tell her if anything is going on. But apparently Rick is another cop that's by the book. And he tells her that, I'm sorry, Esperanza. I know that we work together. I know that we work in the same building. But I can't tell you anything about this right now. I'm sorry. She accepts that answer and she walks off into Brad's and Alex's house. Kelly and Marcy are there. And Esperanza comes in, and she tells them both she tells Kelly that she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything, and that I need to go upstairs and wake the kids up to get them ready for school. Marcy comes out of the bathroom. She's been in the bathroom a lot, but I'm not surprised seeing that she's pregnant. She comes out of the bathroom and she asks, do you know anything about Brad? And Esperanza tells her, no, I know nothing about that. Esperanza goes up the stairs to wake up the babies. Kelly goes by the window and she looks outside and she sees that there's a coroner's van outside. She starts freaking out. She's telling Marcy, oh, Marcy, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. So Marcy goes outside, and Kelly comes after her soon. A few seconds later, she goes and meets Rick, the officer, the officer on scene, and she sees the coroner's van, and Rick tells her that there's a homicide. Someone has been murdered in this house. Kelly freaks out even more. She starts crying and she's worried. Rick pulls out a photograph, a small photograph of Ramsey. And then Rick asks her, do you know this man? Do you know who this is? And she says, yes, this is my neighbor Ramsey. Kelly confirms that it was him. Rick tells her, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then she says that Ramsey is dead. And Officer Rick confirms it and tells her that I am truly sorry. This is a homicide investigation. You're not allowed to go past the yellow tape. It's a mess. I'm truly, truly sorry. Kelly cries and she says no. She's screaming, she's crying, she's hurt, and she's saying, no, 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 he can't be dead. He can't be gone. That is the way the episode ends. It was a very good episode, as I said in the beginning of my video. I really appreciated that it was moving at a faster pace. Last season, it took Alex the entire season just for her to get to Dentonville, to her parents' house. And yet they made it all the way back there in one episode. So very good, Tyler. Very good for keeping us and listening to us and moving the story along faster. My personal MVP of the episode was Brad. I'm very proud of him. He jumped into the alligator filled lake to save the baby's life. And I really give him credit for that, because being at that lake was the last place that he wanted to be. He in the last season, he said it. I'm exhausted. I want to come home. I'm going back to my apartment. And with Marcy pleading with him, he decides to make the 3-hour drive. He sees that the baby was in jeopardy, and he jumps in. He was the first person in the water to help save that baby, a baby that was born of adultery, and he jumped in without question. He jumped in and saved that baby's life. But to me, the best thing that he did in this episode was to realize that Eddie is a sick person. He told him to his face, you're a sick man. And I was so glad that he said that, because Brad has been Eddie's champion the entire time, but even he is starting to see that Eddie is no earthly good. He is no earthly good. And I'm glad that Brad has finally come to realize the kind of person that Eddie is. So for that, and for him saving the baby's life, he is my personal MVP. I'm putting him on my thumbnail for my video. So well done, Brad. Well done. This is the end of my video. The next come back next week. Come back next week for the next episode of If Loving You Is Wrong. The episode will be entitled Su Ling Mai. That's a very interesting name for the next episode. I believe it is Chinese, and I believe that it is Malaysian in origin. So I'm very interested to see who this person is. Who is Su Ling Mai? I can't wait for next week. I think that this season has very good promise to it. I was very entertained by what I saw. I was excited. I was pleased with what I saw on my television screen. Thank you very much to all of my subscribers and my viewers for watching my video. I appreciate it. I'm very much enjoying making these videos. I've even glammed myself up for doing these videos. I'm trying to take a page out of Lady Nika's book and try to better my appearance so I can look as good as I can for my videos. Thank you very much, and come back next week for my next video for If Loving You Is Wrong. Enjoy your life as I do, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.